Okay, so let's start with a big question. What if that person you think of as you isn't really solid? What if you are more like a collection of parts, always changing, always in motion? It's a fascinating idea, right? Today, we're going to dive into a concept from Buddhist philosophy that really helps us understand this. It gets right to the heart of why we get so attached to things and, why it hurts so much when they're gone. And it all starts with something I think we've all felt. You know that feeling? You get really attached to something. Maybe it's a favorite pair of shoes, your car, or even just a memory. And when it's gone, it really feels like a part of you is gone too. That feeling, that attachment, or what's often called clinging, that's the core problem we're going to break down today. So if this self we cling to isn't one solid thing, then where does it even come from? Well, according to this way of thinking, it's actually constructed from 5 different building blocks. They're called the aggregates. And the key thing to know is that they're always, always changing. So let's take a look at these 5 pieces one by one. First up is form. This one's pretty straightforward. It's basically everything physical. Your body, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're looking at. But it's also the light hitting your eyes, the sound of my voice. If it's got physical substance, if you can sense it, that's form. Okay, next is feeling. Now, this isn't emotion, not yet. This is the raw, immediate gut reaction you have to form. Something makes contact with your senses, and your system instantly tags it. Pleasant, unpleasant, or just neutral. Think about the warmth of the sun on your arm, or stubbing your toe. That initial jolt of pleasure or pain, that's feeling. The third piece of the puzzle is perception. This is where your mind steps in and starts making sense of that raw feeling. It slaps a label on it. So that unpleasant feeling from a loud noise becomes that annoying dog barking again. The pleasant warmth becomes, what a gorgeous day. See? Perception turns raw data into a narrative. And that narrative leads us right to fabrication. This is the active part. Fabrication is all about our thoughts, our plans, our intentions. It's the part of your mind that says, I like this feeling, I want more of it. Or, I hate this, I gotta get out of here. This is the engine that drives our actions and choices. It's what we do about the stories we tell ourselves. And finally, we have consciousness. Think of this as the stage on which the whole play happens. It's the basic awareness that all this other stuff, seeing, feeling, labeling, intending, is going on. It's not judging or choosing, it's just knowing. It's the simple light of awareness that allows you to experience any of it at all. This simple analogy with a slice of cake really brings it all together. First, you see the cake. That's form. Instantly, a pleasant sensation arises, a little jolt of desire. That's feeling. Your mind immediately labels it. Dessert or delicious cake. That's perception. That leads directly to the thought, I'm going to eat that, which is fabrication. And the whole time, there's just this basic awareness of this entire process unfolding. That's consciousness. And boom, it happens in a split second, over and over again all day long. So, here it is, the big reveal. The problem isn't the cake, or the feeling, or the thought. The real source of our suffering is that we latch on to these fleeting processes. We mistake this constantly changing flow for a solid, permanent me. We literally build our identity on these shifting sands, and then we're shocked when we feel insecure or anxious. Okay, so if clinging is the problem, how in the world do we stop? Well, the answer isn't to fight it, but to observe it. This is where meditation comes in. But don't think of it as some escape. Think of it more like a laboratory for your own mind, a place where you can watch these 5 aggregates doing their thing, clearly, without getting swept away by them. And one of the key tools in this lab is developing deep concentration. This can lead to a really refined kind of pleasure, a state called jhana. Now, as you can see, this is totally different from the pleasure of, say, eating that cake. It's subtle, it's internal, and it doesn't lead to more craving. Instead, by experiencing it, you learn from the inside out that even the most blissful, amazing feelings are temporary. And that insight is what starts to loosen the grip of clinging. But hold on a second. You might be thinking, isn't this a contradiction? If we're trying to let go of clinging, why are we focusing so intensely on something, like our breath? Isn't that just another form of clinging? It's a really good question. And the classic answer is this brilliant metaphor of the raft. Think of concentration as a raft you build to get across a dangerous river. It's absolutely essential for the journey. You need it. But once you get to the other side, once you've gained that insight, you don't strap the raft to your back and carry it around. You leave it behind. The tool has done its job. So what's on that other shore? What do we find when we finally let go? It's a state called release. It's this incredible sense of freedom that comes when we stop identifying with all those moving parts and just let them flow. But how can you be sure it's the real deal and not just some temporary blissed out state? Well, there are two key signs. First, it feels incredibly stable and grounded, not spacey or weird. And second, it comes with this aha moment of understanding. You see with total clarity how your own mind built the prison of suffering and exactly how you just walked out the door. And one of the most game-changing insights that comes with this is realizing just how much power we have. We see that we're not just victims of what happens to us. No, we are active participants. Our reality is being shaped moment by our own intentions and mental habits, by our fabrications. But here's the most humbling part of it all. This freedom, this liberation, it wasn't something you had to create or earn. It was there the whole time, just waiting. The only thing that was blocking the view was the fog of our own attachments. So, what does this all mean for us here in our messy, busy, everyday lives? How do we take this huge idea and actually use it? Here's a really simple way to start putting this into practice. The next time you feel a wave of stress or anger or anything strong, just try to pause. Get curious. Can you spot the chain reaction? What was the physical trigger, the form? What was that raw feeling? What story did your perception spin? And what did fabrication, that inner voice, tell you to do about it? You don't even have to change it. Just watching the process starts to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of freedom. And really, this whole journey of deconstruction leads us to one final, huge question to ponder. If that self we work so hard to protect and promote is just a temporary mashup of these changing parts, then what are we really? Beyond all the stories, beyond the clinging, what is our true nature?